Hi there, welcome to CBD and Essential Oil Talk Radio with Marc and Nikki, where we talk about realistic and fun ways to have a healthy family life and how CBD and essential oils fit right in. Coming up on the show today, I'm going to talk about the germ theory versus terrain theory. Now, this is really, really hot nowadays because of the whole coronavirus thing that's going on. So people are talking about this germ theory versus terrain theory, and I'm going to get into a little bit. So what are you going to talk about?
Well, I'm super excited about today because I have a hack for a hot tub, right? So we recently purchased a hot tub and an above ground pool, and I have a way that's going to keep it clean, pH balanced, and algae free. Are you ready? Are you ready? There's no harsh chemicals involved whatsoever.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm excited to share that.
That's
today.
kind of a big deal because, you think about going and swimming a pool somewhere, public pools, you understand, okay, people want to keep it, keep the bacteria and stuff down in the pools. I get that. But they use these harsh chemicals, and that actually ties a little bit into what I'm going to talk about as well. So it's going to be a great show. You guys are going to come away thinking, this is fantastic. I need to watch this every day or listen to it. It's a fun show. I really like it. All right, so our sponsor for this show is going to be the San Antonio Empowerment Council, who has an all-day essential oil event with Deborah Rayburn coming up on Saturday, July 11th. Deborah Rayburn is a certified naturopath, master herbalist, aromatherapist, and Young Living Royal Crown Diamond who's helped thousands of people learn about the power of essential oils. Now, for folks who can't come to the local event here in San Antonio, you can get tickets to the live webinar broadcast and enjoy a digital replay of the event as well, kind of on demand. So if you can't watch it live, you can watch it on your own schedule. Now, for all the details on this and other events that the San Antonio Empowerment Council has, you can visit saecevents.com. Now, if you're on Facebook, you can follow them at SA Empowered. Okay, so check them out. They're doing giveaways and all kinds of cool stuff over there now. So really kind of taking it up a notch. So, all right, we'll get into it, Nikki.
Okay, so I'm a mom on a mission, right? And I try my best to keep chemicals out of the home and for sure off my daughter. Remember, she battled eczema like the first 4 years of her life. Okay?
Yeah, I remember.
Then I made the switch, took the toxins out of the home, and now she doesn't battle that anymore. And that's very empowering for me. It feels good to do good for your children, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It feels really good. So like I mentioned earlier, we purchased a hot tub and above ground pool. Now we're talking small scale here. Like it's a 4-person hot tub.
Okay.
And then it's a 10-foot round pool.
But I got a question. So in a 4-person hot tub, how many people really fit in there? Is it just like 2 kids?
This is where size matters.
Right, it does. It does.
If you're 6'4", 320, probably not 4 people.
Yeah, right.
So my husband, my daughter, my 9-year-old daughter, my 21-year-old daughter, and myself were in it, and we all had leg room. We weren't touching.
Really?
So there's plenty of room. It's 71 inches across each way. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So it's nice. All right. So I started doing some research, right, on natural ways to keep your hot tub and your pool clean, because I for sure wasn't going to do the whole chlorine, bromine, all that. I wasn't.
Well, you got a germaphobe issue, right?
Well, not really. I just know what they do to my daughter's skin.
Oh, that's true.
And I'm thinking, okay, you mentioned coronavirus, right? Homeschooling. I haven't done that before. She's home 24/7.
Yeah.
We're getting a new pool. I know she's going to want to be in it. She's approximately 3 to 4 hours a day right now.
You're smart. You're really smart because you're finding ways to keep those kiddos entertained.
You got that right.
And not driving you crazy.
You got that right. She loves it, but I knew the toll it would take. Like when we just go to the pool at the neighborhood pool,
yes.
We are there for an hour and 20 minutes. All right, let's go. Get home, bath or shower right away. You got to get those chemicals off her hair and off her skin.
What happens to her when is it just a red rash?
She'll break out in that little red itchy rash. She's like, oh, it itches. Or she'll get real dry.
You told a story not too long ago about she went over to a friend's house and they had put stuff on their lawn, right?
Correct.
And it caused her. So your daughter's really sensitive to that kind of stuff.
She's very sensitive. Even, since she's been home, she's not taking the bus every day. Mm-hmm. Used to, I'd send her to school in shorts. She'd come home and the back of her legs would have these little red splotches and they're itching, and I'm having to put some lavender oil on them as soon as she gets home because they wipe the bus down with Lysol wipes.
Oh,
she is that sensitive.
Wow.
So they wipe it down before the kids get on it, and then when they leave.
Wow, you think you're doing good for the kiddos, right? And you don't realize that the harshness of those chemicals can be problematic for kids. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so I found the story online, right, as I was searching for a better way, and I kind of was like, this is pretty important. I got to talk to you about it. It's something called the Missing Link Tapes by Gary Young.
Yes, I've heard of that. In fact, I've seen listened to it on YouTube as well. You can find it.
So it's out there for me?
Yes, it is. It's all over.
Okay, well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I guess I should have researched a little more. Welcome to 2020 where we have access to anything. All right, so supposedly, well, now I'm just going to say it's a series of tapes, right? Like back in the early 80s, is what
I'm not sure
what
the
I'm
dating
thinking.
of it.
And it's about all kinds of things to do with natural remedies, essential oils, and chemicals, how they affect your body, and things like that, right?
Yeah.
So this family was given the missing link tapes by a daughter-in-law, a friend of a friend, whatever. And they basically found out that they were living with a killer called the hot tub, right? So as I'm researching, I'm just like, wait, what? What's going on here?
Yeah.
So they were treating the water with lots of chemicals, right? Again, chlorine, bromine, stuff like this. What you're supposed to do, what you're told to do, yeah. Mm-hmm. And they said that this was really contributing to their already poor health. So what did they do? They decided to experiment with the oils in the hot tub. And here's what they learned. Just like my hot tub, their hot tub held 300 gallons of water. Now, they were already using the prescribed method, which was to balance it out to keep it safe,
pH.
right? Yep, pH, exactly. So they put 12 drops of Young Living geranium oil and circulated it for 30 minutes.
Well, I bet that smelled good.
Yeah. Then
Very
they tested
flowery.
the water. But guess what?
What?
The bromine and chlorine indicator on the test strip was white. It didn't pick any of it up, right?
Wait a minute. So was there chlorine and bromine already in
Correct.
the water?
They were already using it. Mm-hmm.
And so they put the geranium in, and then
They
didn't
ran it
show
for
up on the
30
test.
minutes. And then from 1 hour from the time they put the drops in, the geranium, not the geranium, excuse me. Stop asking me questions. You're getting me all nervous.
Well, no, this is
so the bromine and chlorine indicator on the test strips were white, telling them that the chemicals had disappeared, but the pH was holding just fine on there. So the strips were working. They did several strips. So they guessed or assumed that the bromine and chlorine were being neutralized or digested by the geranium oil. Now, they've done this over and over, and it keeps doing the same thing, right?
Wow.
So, if you don't take care of that hot tub or the pool, it turns green, it gets algae and things like that.
Sure.
So they've been doing this for several years now, and they're saying all they do is they're adding the geranium. And every now and then, they're adding baking soda to help keep the pH and the alkaline
Right.
at its level, which is supposed to be like 7.2 to 7.8, something like that.
Sure.
Okay, so this is all I've been doing for 8 days now. Our pool is very clean. There's no slime. There's no nothing.
With just geranium?
It smells amazing. Amazing. It smells amazing with geranium and baking soda. So that's what I'm doing.
That is amazing.
Mm-hmm. And now, hold on. But wait, there's more.
Okay.
So I keep reading all these other stories, and she's like, I don't even just do geranium. We love adding citronella and purification to our hot tub.
Seems like geranium would smell better, though.
Well, purification is amazing.
I'm not a fan.
That's one of my favorites. But citronella, I guess it's keeping the bugs away from them during the summer.
Yeah.
I don't know. But she says don't just limit it to geranium. Try others, and their pool is always clean and it always tests right. Now, somebody did say on on 8 weeks that they chose to shock it again. So when you shock a pool, I guess you're adding in chlorine and bromine. It's like this. You just shock it. You add all these chemicals, and then she tests it, and it's loaded with bromine and chlorine.
Yeah.
Then she puts her drops of geranium in there. She waits 30 minutes, takes the test again, gone.
That is crazy.
It is crazy. So check it out. Definitely check it out. Google. I'm going to YouTube those tapes now.
Yeah,
the missing link tapes. It talks about chlorine.
On top of Googling it, I mean, if you've got one of these jacuzzi things you're using, just do it. Just try it. I mean, if you already have, essential oils in your home, then give it a shot.
And these were specific to Young Living. Every one I read said Young Living geranium.
Well, yeah, because we know that Young Living, they I've been to a whole bunch of their farms. You've been to one of their farms.
Absolutely, yeah.
Actually, have you been to two? Did you go up to the
No.
the wilderness one, or not the wilderness one, but the other one in Utah where they do the wheat, the einkorn wheat? You didn't go up there? Okay,
check that out.
But anyway, it's just we know that their methods are very, very clean, so they get really high quality oils. So yeah, it's a different ball game when you're using those oils.
Yeah, but like I said, it's been 8 days for me. There's no cloudiness. There's no slimy anywhere. There's nothing.
Would you get sliminess in 8 days? Would that happen?
Yep.
That seems fast.
Yeah, even in 2 days.
One of the reasons why we don't have, because I like the idea of having a jacuzzi out here. We'd probably throw one out here in the backyard, kill the grass, and be all right. But is because of you having to clean it and all of that. But I mean, we've got plenty of geranium in the house.
Yeah.
We could just 15 drops. And how often are you adding the drops?
Well, he was doing 12 drops every time they got in together. Now, this other woman who is a Young Living member that I checked out, she said she just puts 1 or 2 drops every time before she gets in the pool.
Okay. So it's constant drop. Yeah. That is crazy. Awesome.
Yep. And here you go. They went out of town for 4 months. They put 12 drops in it, covered it up, came back. They were expecting to be cloudy and green. It was clear, crystal clear. So
yeah,
that's
those
pretty
essential
awesome.
oils are pretty neat.
Yeah, they are. And then one more tip. I just thought this was neat. If y'all have hot tubs, I've never had a above ground pool in a hot tub. Tennis balls. It's weird, right? Throw 2 or 3 tennis balls in there after you've swam in there. And it kind of skims the pools, picking up oils and stuff, like body oils that you naturally
secrete.
I guess. I don't want to use that word. It's so nasty. But yeah, that's the word I was thinking of. I'm like, I can't say it. I don't want to say it. Or even if you were wearing sunscreen, which we don't, because we have this huge patio. So we have the above ground pool on the patio and the jacuzzi on the other, and we still have 17 feet between the two.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's pretty awesome. I'm bragging, totally bragging right now.
Oh, but it's a good bragging. So what the tennis balls just kind of pick up the oils,
right? Because they're a material, right? They're kind of cloth-like. They're very absorbent. Thank you. Thanks for that word. Sorry, I'm still on secretion. Ew, like an alien.
Well, I wonder if you put essential oils on the tennis ball.
I don't know. Well, it's going around and it's picking it up.
Yeah, it is.
So it's picking up stuff.
A little sponge. So,
I thought it was kind of cool. If y'all use, stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to pick up the geranium I just put in there.
Yeah, right. We don't want that.
Right.
Because, oil and water, they say don't mix, No. But, yeah. Anyway, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for teaching us on that. All right, so we're going to talk about germ theory. Now, of course, real quick, just a plug for Nikki here. So if you want to, be sure you're following her on Facebook and Instagram. She's very active, and that's at Nikki Holland Talks. Just connect with her there and let her know how much you appreciate all of her hard work and her awesome podcasting.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Are
you? Thanks, man.
Thank you, dude. It's all good. All right, so the germ theory versus terrain theory. So this is an interesting debate that has resurfaced lately because of the whole coronavirus pandemic that's going on. People are asking questions. They're digging into stuff. Now, I'm not going to really insert myself on one side or the other of this whole coronavirus debate, whether it's legit or whether it's overblown, all that. But people are asking questions. They're like, okay, so, how is this affecting me? How are we contracting it? How is it being spread? How does it affect my family? What are some things I can do to improve my environment and all that kind of stuff? But before I get into the difference there between the terrain and the germ theory itself, I should define what I mean by the word germ. Okay. So germ includes bacteria, viruses, protozoa, and fungi. Now, is it fungi or fungi?
Fungi.
Fungi, okay.
You're a fungi. Oh, fun guy.
Fungi, yeah. He's a fungi. Anyway, the overall debate between germ and terrain theory is whether mankind gets sick. Now, sickness is the key, right? Sick as a result of exposure to bacteria and viruses is the germ theory, or that this type of exposure is a natural process of life and it's the overall health of the human body that ultimately determines whether or not we succumb to a sickness, right? We actually, take a dive and we got to spend time in the bed and deal with fevers and everything else that's going on like that. It's just like we got overloaded, okay? So according to Louis Pasteur's germ theory, right, that's where it comes back from, I think it's in the late 1700s, bacteria causes sickness and disease. Now, this is their theory, right? This is their mindset, their philosophy, is that bacteria causes sickness and disease, and we need to continually find new ways to kill them off. Okay. The model focuses strictly on germs and views them as hostile invaders that must be eradicated at any cost. And we see this, right? If you don't agree with it being at any cost, you just take a look at the ingredients and some of the stuff that we're using, and then, of course, some of the methods that we're using out there with respect to wellness, and you say, okay, yeah, it's pretty harsh. But you got to look at the ingredients. That's where you really get all the information. So when folks get sick, typical treatment protocols is antiviral, antibacterial, anti-whatever, right? It's anti-this, it's attack, right? Also, the harsh and even toxic chemicals that are being used every day all over the world in homes, workplaces, schools, hospitals, public parks, everywhere, the harsh cleaners are being used with this germ theory mindset. Kill the germs at all costs. It's go after the germs, okay? But is our country healthier because of it? And what's the true health cost of this war on germs, right? I would challenge our listeners to pick just one of your household products and check out the ingredients and see what the side effects of those ingredients are. And that's easy to do at is Environmental Wellness Group, or EWG.org. You can go there and say, okay, this is my product. What are the ingredients? They tell you, most of the products there, they'll tell you what the ingredients are, and then you can kind of go through it.
And then there's that scoring one, right? You score it. It's called Think Dirty or Dirty
Think
Talk.
Dirty app. Yeah.
Something like that.
All right, so that's kind of the germ theory, right? This is about a war on the germs. Focus on the germs. Go kill the germs. Okay. Now, the terrain theory argues that if the body is well and balanced, then it is able to fight off germs without causing sickness. Okay. This model views germs as a natural part of our life, ever present in our environment to some respect. This model acknowledges that germs seek their natural habitat, which is dead tissue or bad terrain. Okay. If we can reduce the bad terrain present in our body and environment, then it allows that level of sickness, or then it follows that that level of sickness would reduce, and we would be healthier overall. So if you, here's an analogy. So if you have a cat, and of course cats use litter box, right?
Yes.
So if you leave that litter box in your living room out there, right, and you never change it, right, or you don't change it enough, then you create an environment that is conducive to what? To flies, maggots, bacteria, and this other stuff, right? Plus the smell. I mean, you can smell it in the air. That's just this. But this is the idea of not, and this is an over exaggeration of what I'm trying to, but the point I'm trying to make. But if you didn't change that, or let's say you don't have a cat, and I was a cop for almost 30 years, right? And I've been to many homes. And yes, there are people out there who they have 10, 15 cats, right? And they don't have litter boxes, or they do have litter boxes, but not enough litter boxes, and they don't clean their house. I mean, even the sheetrock will smell like cat stuff, right? I mean, it's just really, really bad, right? Tell me that, I mean, that's an over-exaggeration of an unhealthy terrain that is just ripe for all of the bacteria and this other stuff. I mean, if you have flies in your house that are constantly buzzing around and feeding off of everything that's going on, that in detective school, we call that a clue that there's something wrong with the environment.
Oopsie.
But yeah, this is real important to acknowledge that terrain is an issue, right?
Okay. So are you saying your body is a terrain?
Exactly right.
Yes.
And not only your body, but also your environment. Okay. So I'm actually going to get into, that's,
I'm like, get on with it, Mark. Talk to me about the body. And because I never heard of the whole germ and terrain thing, never heard of it.
Yeah.
But as you're speaking, I'm like, oh, you think I'm probably the germ side, but I'm more of the terrain person.
Well, no, I didn't put you in either category. Okay. I think both of them have relevance, right? Because if you have a bad terrain in your body, right, and you catch sickness and stuff like that, you need to address the bacteria and the virus and so forth. I get that, right?
Right.
But we should not neglect the terrain as well, right? Because if we can elevate our body's wellness to a position where it's ready to take on the battles that are going to come at it, then we're going to be all the better for it, and we'll move through the process. And this is what I've seen in my own life. So I used to get sick, and I'd be down for 2 weeks, right? A couple times a year, bad respiratory issues. I mean, this is not an uncommon thing these days, it seems. But when I started focusing on my environment, you know what I mean? And then also my personal wellness, then it elevated that wellness bar for me. And now it's like, it's so rare that I get sick. I mean, it is once every couple years, and I'm in and out quick. But that's the way it should be.
That's how it should be. That's right. And someone just mentioned to me the other day, they're like, man, Nikki, you're never sick. You are like never sick. I said, well, I was kind of not feeling well. Remember back right before Christmas Eve, or New Year's Eve, excuse me. I was down for about 4 days with a headache and a sore throat and a cough. And they're like, you probably had the coronavirus then. And it only stayed in you for 4 days because you're so healthy. And I'm like, I am so not healthy, but I am healthy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm healthy, but I'm not healthy.
Well, not healthy in what respect?
I don't know. Probably my what I put on my plate sometimes.
Well, yeah, but that's the struggle, because I mean, it's easy to grab food that's not healthy for you. And this is where, you know, I mean, obviously I work in the supplement business to some extent, right? Essential oil, CBD supplements, stuff like that, because we recognize that we're not feeding our bodies the best things on a regular basis, right? We want that comfort food. We want that donut, that coffee from Starbucks that's got who knows what ingredients.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
I can't even drink Starbucks anymore. It just messes my stomach up. I think it's GMO stuff that doesn't agree with my body.
Possibly.
Right?
He says as I'm drinking a Starbucks coffee.
Well, it just adversely affects me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not putting that
But
on
you know what? But on a daily basis, we are flooding our body with nutrients, right? Because we drink our red drink, we drink water, we put oils. There's oils in our supplements.
Yep.
We're taking the good stuff. And we're just kind of sprinkling in the bad stuff every now and then.
Well, yeah, and if we can change out some of those,
and excuse me, I don't mean bad stuff. I mean unhealthy stuff.
Well, that's bad stuff. I mean,
Kinda.
like laundry detergent was huge for me. I've talked about this many times where because it's on our sheets or pillowcases, our clothes, all that stuff. And if it's got these harsh chemicals in it that you use not only for washing them, but also the dryer sheets and all that kind of stuff, it's like we're constantly being bombarded by this stuff. And that's where that EWG, remember the website I mentioned?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
We went in there, took a look at the ingredients that is in that, and it's like really bad for the respiratory system, the immune system, the reproductive system. Like, is there a better way to do this?
Yes.
Right? And let's elevate that terrain just a little bit so that we can fight off what we need to fight off.
I have to bring up something because you just triggered it in my brain. I saw this on the local news. If you're doing homemade masks, you put a little slit in there and you can put a filter in your mask.
Okay.
Right? Very common. A lot of people know about this.
Mm-hmm.
They suggested 1, coffee filter. Okay. 2, a dryer sheet. Do not.
Oh my gosh.
Do not place a dryer sheet as a filter
You gotta be
for your
kidding
face
me.
mask because that is loaded in chemicals and that causes respiratory irritation.
Who was the author of that? Do you remember?
I want to say I was our local Channel 12. I have
Come
to pull it up.
on.
I have to pull it up. I mentioned it too. It was the day I was getting in a group and I'm like, did I just hear that right? And my husband's like, yeah, they just said put a dryer sheet as a filter because it can filter. That was the worst.
Worst advice.
Ever.
That's probably the worst advice I've heard all year.
It's terrible. Yeah.
Just take a look at the ingredients that is in that before you do something like that. And you're breathing it directly into your lungs, which goes directly into your blood and all
That's
that.
right.
Not good. All right, so what kind of things can we do to improve our body's terrain? So good food, good water, exercise, fresh air, lower stress, healthy relationships, right?
Yes.
We can and bump up the fun just a little bit, right?
There you
If
go.
you're following me on Facebook, I'm doing a pretty good job now of putting some fun stuff out there. It's kind of fun. I like it. And you are too. So it's a good time. We can also look for healthy alternatives for our cleaning products, air fresheners, snacks, and drinks. So a good example of the drink thing was I used to drink Coke and Pepsi and Monster drinks. I used to have Monster drinks.
Okay.
It had to get me through the day, you know what I mean? So then I started drinking more water. This was really, really important for me. But it was difficult, right? I wanted the carbonation in a drink. I wanted to be able to switch out.
Right.
So I found a drink that I really, really like. I'm drinking it this morning, but I get the carbonation that I want and, some good flavor and all of that without all of the bad chemicals that's in the Coke. So that's just an idea of kind of maybe outthinking, the problem, or because people like their snacks, man.
I do.
Chocolate and all that kind of stuff.
Especially now.
Right? Oh my gosh, there's going to be a lot of weight loss programs. They're going to be.
There's a reason I'm wearing
well.
stretchy pants today.
I like my stretchy shorts. That I got out of you. All right, so if you aren't getting enough antioxidants in your daily diet, you need to increase them. Antioxidants, we're not getting enough in our diets, guys. We just really aren't, unless you've got a really, really clean diet. You're doing really, really good, which is still rare. Get an antioxidant supplement in your life. Get after it. Vitamin C, super important, right? Especially these days. So our family focuses on these things and saw a dramatic increase in our health. It is extremely rare for anybody in our family to get sick now. So my daughter Brooke, who's 13, has only been sick twice in her whole life.
Yeah.
Each time lasted less than 2 days and was easily managed at home, right? So her fever spiked. We just used peppermint. Peppermint on her bottom of her feet, on her stomach. I don't know if we did it on the back of her neck or not, but just really helped her level out on
That's
her.
right.
Now the fever, we know we need the fever, right? Because the body's doing its job, but it just kept it from spiking too high. And we were able to manage the entire thing right here at home. So, if I get sick now, me personally, if I get sick now at all, it's every couple of years and it's relatively mild and completely manageable at home. And that's the goal, right? Do you really want to go to the clinic when you're sick? I mean, really? You don't. You want to stay in bed. You don't want to have to go anywhere. And you really can empower yourself these days with the tools you need at home to manage this stuff. So I think we're going to the clinics too much, folks. That's just my personal opinion on it. So
Yeah, well, people are getting sick too much.
they are, but I would say that part of that is the terrain. You know what I mean? So I encourage you guys to take a serious look at improving your body's terrain. It will go a long way to elevating your overall health and well-being. Super important. So what did you think? Did you come away learning a little bit more about germ theory and terrain theory?
I did. You mentioned earlier germaphobe, right? I'm a germaphobe to certain extents, especially like buffets, right? We've mentioned it before. I don't know if, who's touching the tongs in front of me to pick up those green beans.
Or are they using the tongs?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or
I'll just grab this
they
handful of
cough
lettuce.
and then so that's why I don't do that. But there are times when I was raised in the dirt. I'm gonna say, like, that's just something we did. We were outside playing all the time, and I remember this little magnet I bought my grandmother when I was like 7 years old. It said, "God made dirt, and dirt don't hurt." That's what it said on there, and I have used that my whole life. When I'm raising my kids, I'm like, it's just dirt. They'll be fine, because I know there are vitamins and minerals and all kinds of stuff. I don't know about vitamins. But
I don't know about vitamins, but
okay.
there's minerals in the dirt probably.
There's lots of minerals and things that are good for you in nature itself. So, yeah, I guess I'm kind of a little bit of both.
Yeah. Well, and I agree with both. I think that they're not mutually exclusive. I think, when you have a new virus or something pops up or whatever, it's going to be new to the body. It could have an impact. But if your terrain is good, your body's going to be elevated. You're going to be able to move through it fairly quickly. And we know too, people are talking about the folks that are being most impacted by the coronavirus are people that have a compromised immune respiratory system type setup, and that goes to terrain. I mean, obviously, if you have a compromised respiratory system, your terrain is not really well. And I am proof that you can work at fixing that, because mine was bad in my late 30s, and it's better in my 50s than it was in my late 30s, if you can believe that. It's amazing.
Awesome story.
Yeah, I like it. It's just empower yourself with the knowledge. You know what I mean? Share it with each other. Talk about it, right? Be respectful, and let's have a good conversation and get better. Be better next COVID season.
Absolutely.
What are we going to do when the next flu season arrives? I mean, we're going to shut everything down? No. We need to elevate our body's terrain, man.
Get your tool belt, your toolbox full.
All right, as we wrap up the show, a quick reminder to check out our latest podcast on all the usual podcast platforms, and be sure you're following me on Facebook and Instagram at Marc Ebinger. That's Marc with a C. And follow Nikki on Facebook and Instagram as well at Nikki Holland Talks. There are links to everything you need to know in the details below, or you can check out our website at eotalkradio.com. That's going to be it for us. Have a great week, and we'll see you on the next show.
All right. Bye, guys.